It is said that library is the gym for mind, and reading books are really important for our mental growth. Reading helps us recover from any kind of stress or burnout. It is also said that when you are holding a book, you will never be lonely. It helps us in building our personal confidence, reducing social isolation, and learning new ways of understanding different culture and perspectives, and it improves our mental and physical growth. Reading books also enhances our social, emotional, and psychological well-being. We often get motivation from people's life struggle and their journey and how they reached a certain point in their life after so much struggle, and it's really inspiring to hear such stories. So as Dalai Lama have said, the planet don't need more successful people. The planet needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kind. And here are some of the 5 books I have read recently and I've been read for a long time, and I want to share with you the lessons I have learned from it. So the first book is Thrive by Ariana Huffington. Now this is one of my favorite book. In fact, all are my favorite book, but the book talks about the 3 metrics of success. The first 2 metric, which is money and power, and the third metric, which is wisdom, wonder, well-being, humanity, which is often missed from our society. So because we all are busy chasing the first 2 metrics, so we need this third metric as well. And this book, Ariana talks about personal challenges in life and how managing time with her personal life, she was able to manage to start a successful career, and drawing on the latest groundbreaking research and scientific findings in the field of psychology, sports, sleep, and shows the transformative effects of meditation, mindfulness, unplugging from technology, and giving, which is very important. So it shows us the way to revolutionize our culture and our thinking and our workplace and our lives, so how we all can live a better, meaningful life. This is what the book talks about. And the important line which I came across this book is that the Bible goes even further and tells us that we will be judged by what we do for the least among us. This is very important line. And the Bhagavad Gita draws attention to 3 different kinds of life: a life of inertia and dullness with no goals and achievements, a life full of action, busyness, desire, and a life of goodness, which is not just about ourselves but about others. And through selfless service you will always be fruitful and find fulfillment of your desire. This is the promise of the Creator according to the Gita. Now the next book which I'm going to talk about is The Alchemist by Paul Coelho. Now Alchemist is one of the most best-selling book in the world. It break all records, and I wanted to know the secret, so I just got my hands on this. And there are 3 important lines which struck me like a bolt. It says, first is realize your personal legend. What is your personal legend? For example, I say I can run, I can write books, so it's my personal legend. What is your personal legend? We have to find a personal legend. Now second thing we talk about, there's one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. And we all have our insecurities and anxiety and fear of failure which stops us from pursuing our dreams. And the third thing is the secret of life is to fall 7 times and get up 8 times. This is so powerful. The secret of life is to fall 7 times and get up 8 times, and that's how you succeed, because no one has ever succeeded without failure. So failure is part of the journey. And this book has there are some important lines which books also talks about the 4 obstacles of life. For example, first we are told from childhood that everything we want to do is impossible. Second obstacle is love. We are afraid of hurting those around us by abandoning everything in order to pursue our dream. Third is the fear of defeat, and fourth is the fear of realizing that dream for which we fought all our lives. And this is really important because we fought all our lives to realize our dream, and it is finished. So it's very important. And then the next book I would talk about is Lessons by Gisele Bündchen. Now this is a story of a Brazilian model. It's a memoir of Brazilian model Gisele Bündchen, and what impressed me the most about this book is the honesty it has been written. There's some incredible life lessons. Number 1 is quality of our life depends on our relationship. No matter how much money we make, if our relationship is not good with people around, we can never be happy. And this is such a powerful lesson, and how Gisele have showed us her life, like how she followed her dreams, and by having a very strict discipline in her life about what she eats, and how meant yoga and meditation and exercise, how it really helps us love ourselves and practice practice gratitude. Then another chapter of her love for nature, which is so empowering. And she also talks about her challenges of panic attacks and how meditation really helped her from those hard, difficult times. So it is a must read book, and I do recommend it to you as well. Now the next one is Total Recall by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now this is one of the most inspiring memoir you will ever read. It is a very thick book, you can see, but this is worth it reading it. It's a story of an immigrant from Austria in Europe who immigrated to America, was a bodybuilding champion, then entered the movie industry and become a Hollywood superstar, and then governor of California, and now a powerful motivational speaker. This book, some lessons Arnold has shared, lessons about his rules of success, which he says first is like having a vision is very important in life, then breaking some rules, ignoring the naysayers, and not being afraid to fail. Now turn your liabilities into asset. When I wanted to, for example, there's a line in this book, when I wanted to star in movie, the Hollywood agents I talked to told me to forget it. My body and my name, my accent were all too weird. Instead, I worked hard on my accent and my acting, as hard as I would have worked at bodybuilding, to transform myself into a leading man. With Conan and the Terminator, I broke through the things the agents said would be detriment and made it impossible for me to get a job. All of a sudden made me an action hero. So basically he turned his liability into an asset. He was made fun of his surname, he was made fun of his accent, or he was made fun of his huge body, but he turned it into an asset. And the director John Milius said that of the Conan Barbarian, the John Milius said, if we didn't have Schwarzenegger, we had to build one. Just see, this is such a powerful line. Then the next lesson he shares that when someone tells you no, you should hear yes. For example, impossible was a word I loved to ignore when I was governor. They said it would be impossible to convince Californians to build 1 million solar roofs and to reform healthcare and to do something divisive about global warming. Tackling these challenges appealed to me because no one had been able to do them before. The only way to make the possible was to try impossible. If you fail, so what? That's everybody expects, right? But when you succeed, you make this world a better place. And it's a very important lesson. And the last lesson he talks about is never follow the crowd and go where it's empty. When every immigrant in America was trying to buy a house, he bought the whole apartment building instead. And I bought an apartment, and every aspiring actor was trying to get bit parts of a movie role, he got a leading role. And when every politician was to get up for the local office, he went for straight governorship. So it's easier to stand out when you aim straight for the top. And it's a very powerful line from his book. And then the last one, he says that no matter what you do in life, it's about selling it. You could be the best artist, poet, writer, but if nobody knows you, there's no point. So you have to sell yourself as a brand. And it's a very powerful book, and I do recommend it to you. And the last and the final book I talk about is The Sleep Revolution by Arianna Huffington. And Arianna Huffington is raising a serious alarm on the serious sleep crisis happening in the world. It's a wake-up call. This book is a wake-up call, as we often take sleep for granted. In the corporate world, it is told that time is money, but that doesn't mean we use that time to make money, but at the same time sacrifice our health and sleep. And lack of sleep can lead to depression, anxiety, and various other heart diseases as well. So sleep is something which is really important. And with groundbreaking research, she's trying to convince us the importance of sleep and why it is important for our health, and it will going to save lives in future. So these are some of the books I really recommend it to you to read and watch it, and I would appreciate any kind of feedback. And thank you, and stay safe. Cheers.